Hi guys, it's Kiarko here, back with another speed build. This is a speed build of what I'm calling a magical fairies cottage. And at times, this may seem a little witchy because I used a lot of Realm of Magic stuff from that pack. But my idea was that this is for a fairy, and I just kind of incorporated the magic by using the excuse that it's like a magical fairy. So a fairy who maybe uses some witch stuff here and there, but at the end of the day, they are a fairy, and that is the idea behind this build. I was trying to do something a little bit different with this exterior because I wanted the house or like the cottage to seem like it was in the middle of this like beautiful field of flowers. And I was also trying to play more around with the terrain tools because like I've said in previous videos, I'm not usually very good with the terrain tools, and I've been wanting to practice, so I tried to incorporate it here. And I incorporated it like pretty subtly, like it's not like intense terraining or anything like that, but I just have the cottage up on that little hill thing, but I think it ends up pretty good. To be totally honest, because I'm always totally honest with you guys, I much prefer the interior of this build to the exterior. I don't know why. I really like I worked very hard on like all this flower placing and, you know, the greenscaping, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if it turned out exactly how I wanted it to be honest, like the exterior. But you know, I tend to be hypercritical, so let me know what you guys think of this exterior. It's a little bit all over the place, but it's also, I don't know, just let me know what you guys think. But the idea was that it's like this magical like grove of flowers and beautiful things because, you know, the fairy like uses, you know, their powers to make all these beautiful flowers grow around them because they're like a nature fairy or something like that. But as you can see, I recently downloaded these mossy rocks, which are so amazing. I love rocks with moss on them. I know it's such a weird thing to love, but I love the texture and the aesthetic of these. And I'll definitely be using like mossy rocks a lot more in my build, so be prepared for not just rock placement, but mossy rock placement. But here I'm putting together the main frame of the cottage. It's very simple. It's not very complicated. It's pretty much just a box. In terms of like the architectural style, I wasn't really going for like magical like cottage. Like on the inside you'll see like obviously the fairy like has magical things, but in terms of the architecture of the cottage, I like the idea that it was just kind of like this wooden cottage that maybe the fairy stumbled upon and kind of just like turned into their home, or maybe it was built by, you know, like human friends of the fairy or something like that. It's just not supposed to like look like it's a cottage that was necessarily like in a magical fairy kingdom. It does kind of look like it's a normal cottage in the woods. But I had this idea to put all these flowers on the side of the cottage. I like this idea. I kind of wish that I went about it kind of differently because like the flowers look good, but in this stripy pattern that I went with, it kind of looks like a flag, like a country's flag. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not exactly the look I was going for. I kind of wish that I either went with like all one color, or like I like mixed the colors together so it was more like not in such like sectioned bits. I don't know. But again, I'm always very hypercritical of my build, so maybe you guys like it. Let me know what you guys think of the exterior of this build because I'm always looking for feedback. But here I'm setting up the front porch, and then I'm just moving around some of my mossy rocks. And then we're going to put in the fencing or like the railing for the porch, so that the fairy doesn't fall off, I guess. I don't know. I was thinking of maybe doing a character build for this cottage just simply because I love like fairy characters. I think they're so fun to do. I love like choosing wings and stuff. So maybe I'll do one of those in the future just so, you know, just for fun. But let me know if you guys would like to see that, or if you'd like to see maybe like a whole video like dedicated to fairies, like a fairy family or like a fairy royal family or a, I don't know, like different fairy types. I know someone requested that a while ago, like different types of fairy or witch, I don't quite remember, but the idea was that there'd be like a nature fairy, a water fairy, a, you know, kind of like what's it called? The Tinkerbell TV show that Disney had. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like Pixie Hollow, that's what it was called. where they had like all the different fairies and they had like all their different, you know, skills. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I remember that show being pretty good. I actually have like quite a few like distinct memories of that show for some reason. Do you guys remember there used to be this online game called like Pixie Hollow, and you can like design your pixie and then you can like fly them around and play little mini games? I freaking loved that game. I don't know if it's still up online. I actually will look it up after I finish recording this, because I actually really like that game. I'm a sucker for like online games. I know this has nothing to do with the build, but honestly I'm just doing terrain paint right now, so I might as well talk about something other than terrain paint. But I love online games, like the ones that like are for kids, I know, but like they're fun, so whatever. Like if Pixie Hollow is back up and running, which it might be, I don't know, I would probably play it in a heartbeat, just because I love that stuff. To make like my little pixie and have her fly around and just like pick up like dewdrops and stuff, that sounds so fun. Or maybe that's just me, I don't know. I'm someone who like will occasionally be like, oh shit, like are my webkins okay? And then I like log in on webkins, I'm like, they're still alive, and then I log off. I check on my webkins like annually just to see what's going on. But yeah, let me know if I'm the only, you know, adult person who still plays those games. I mean, like I don't like really like play them, but like I like sometimes just looking at them and playing them. Club Penguin I have definitely revisited recently, because even though Club Penguin shut down infamously, I know, someone like, I don't know how this happened, someone like copied the whole code or something. Like the game is still available to play. You can play Club Penguin right now, and the gold membership, like you remember all that stuff where the gold membership where you had to like pay for like superior webkins or superior Club Penguins things was like really expensive. It's free now, so you can like go and download all that stuff and play Club Penguin like to the extreme. But yeah, there's a fun fact. I hope I didn't get anyone to just, you know, stop watching my video and go immediately play Club Penguin, because that's probably what I would do. I freaking love Club Penguin. I haven't played that in a long time. I gotta go check up on it. Anyways, totally irrelevant. What am I doing? I'm doing a little pond here in the garden area. This pond, I imagine, is like a magical pond where she does like magical fairy things in the pond. You know what I mean? Like it's like her magic like water pond. The only thing about this pond I don't like is that the shade of blue of the water is a little bit too intense. I wish it was more of a muted shade, like a more like dusty blue, less like neon blue, just for like the sake of this particular color palette. I mean, that color works beautifully in other builds. It's just for this particular color palette, I wish it was a little bit more muted. But again, I'm so freaking stubborn and strict about color palette. You guys know this. I really gotta loosen up about it. But here I am. I'm trying to figure out what to do with the rest of this space, and to be honest, I think I leave it blank for now, and then I actually come back to it at the end of the build, just because I didn't know what else to do with this garden space. Because the obvious answer is, you know, just make it a garden, just put in flowers and plants and stuff. I just couldn't figure out like how exactly I wanted to do that, and if I wanted like a statue or some sort of like outdoor activity. You can see me looking through all that now, just trying to figure it out. But I just was like, you know what, I'll come back to it. So I just went to the inside of the build now. I made the walls this like, it's the same painted wood as the exterior, but it's white, which I thought worked since I'm bringing like a lot more different colors into the interior than the exterior. So I wanted like a neutral wallpaper background. I love this bed. I'm pretty sure this is a conversion from, what game is it? What is it? It's not League of Legends, it's freaking hell. World of Warcraft, yeah. I think that's what this is. I'm pretty sure it's a conversion. I'm not quite sure, but it's a beautiful bed and I love it. I never played World of Warcraft. Let me know if you guys have, if it's worth my time. But I am just putting together this bed right now, putting, you know, various things. I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video, you probably saw that there was some stuff already on the lot that I like later moved to the inside of this lot. That was from a mood, you know, a mood board, a billboard that I did a while ago. And if you're curious about how I do those, there is another video I did about my creative process and how I come up with these mood boards. So go check that one out. But that's what I did for this particular build, is I did a little bit of a mood board and I brought it in and I built around it. But yeah, so here I'm putting together the fairy space. As you can see, I did give her a little wand. It's sitting at the foot of her bed on a little pillow, which is, you know, I know that's like, you know, witch stuff, I think, but I can imagine a fairy having a wand. I don't think that's like totally out there, right? I think that's a thing. You know? Anyways, I'm putting together her little living room space now. As you can see with the way I laid out this cottage, there's no like, the only room is the bathroom. The rest of the place is kind of just this open space with these arches going all the way through. And in that way, it's kind of like a studio, but the reason I did that is I just kind of liked, I don't know, the flow of the space, and I didn't want like a conventionally structured home for her. I wanted something a little bit more looser and magical, so I could see her like running around with the little fairy wings around her all over her house. I don't know, that's just what I was imagining. And I also gave her a cauldron, which I know again is you know, witchy, but I can see a fairy like brewing potions over a cauldron for like her garden or something like that, like garden potions and, you know, good fairy magic stuff. Do you guys know what I'm trying to go for here? But this back room is kind of like her kitchen area. The cauldron is like the main thing she would use to cook, I believe. I don't know what fairies would eat. Yeah, I don't know. Would they eat like normal people food, or would they eat like flowers? I don't know. Maybe it's more fun to pretend they eat flowers. So I guess that makes like all her exterior garden like her little harvest plot. I don't know. But this is her, like I said, her little kitchen. I put this shelf here and I'm gonna put like various things on the shelf. Like I put those crystals, which I thought were pretty cool. So she's like a fairy that can like draw energy and magic from crystals, I guess. I don't know. I make up this stuff so much. I don't like read on like fairy magical creature lore before I do these builds. I just kind of wing it. I'm like, yeah, like fairies and crystals, that seems to make sense. And I just put crystals in my build, but it looks cool. Putting a little shelf up here. As you can see, I didn't give her an oven or like a fridge or anything. And the reason for that is I just didn't like the idea of like conventional, or not conventional, but like more modern human technology being present in this build. I wanted it to seem very, not necessarily like medieval or old, but just disconnected from technology is what I was trying to go for. So I imagine that she would use the cauldron for any sort of cooking things that she needs to do. And in terms of a refrigerator, I guess she just doesn't need a refrigerator. Or maybe she has like fairy powers where she can like freeze her food with like her powers. But then where would she put it? I don't know. Maybe like a cabinet? I don't know. She'll figure it out. It's fine. But you can see I have these like herbs hanging everywhere, like these flowers, which I think are so pretty. They're just so pretty. And then I'm going to put in a little stool back there with a little magic book on there, and a potion, so it's like, you know, stuff for her cauldron. And then in this entry area, it took me minutes to figure out what I was gonna do with this. I just kind of made it like a general like area. I know it's not very descriptive. I'll quickly pop in some mushrooms out there, because I thought the mushrooms looked pretty magical, so I wanted to include them. And then we're going to put in, well, I don't know what I just did there. We're gonna put in some more little details on this shelf. I really like this shelf. I like the little moon detail at the top. I think it's really cute. I would love this in real life. I have so many different aesthetics that I would love to live in. Like I really love like 60s, 70s like vintage aesthetics for my home, but I also like gothic fairy core stuff. I don't know. I feel like if I'm ever lucky enough to be able to have like my dream home, I'll have like different sections of the house like dedicated to different aesthetics. That's what I'll do. I'll have like a fairy core bedroom, and then I'll have like a like a Scandinavian style living room. It'll be like such a mess, but I'll be so happy. But here I'm doing the little bathroom now. As you guys know, not a huge fan of doing bathrooms, so I kept this one pretty simple. Sink, toilet, mirror, that's all she needs, plus a tub. I don't know how she sits in the tub with her wings. I don't know if her wings can get wet, but I'm assuming that that's a thing. I mean, she needs to bathe like everyone else, and her wings are a part of her, right? So they need to be cleaned, right? I don't know. I don't know if there's any fairy experts out there. Let me know. Is there like fairy lore about fairies washing their wings? I don't know, that's a weird way to say that. Anyways, these are our screenshots. As you can see, I actually have a different filter on for these screenshots in my like reshade preset menu stuff. And the reason I use this filter here is just because I really liked like the warm kind of old vintage feel it gave the screen. Oh, look at that. It looks so cool. It looks so cool. I love this filter. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of this build. Let me know if you would like to see a character build of the fairy, and let me know if you know anything about fairy lore, or if you play any online games, and let me know if you have suggestions for online games, because I freaking love online games. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.